Okay, have you ever watched a movie and said to yourself when it's over, holy Christ, is that movie way too long? Have you ever stopped and thought to yourself, like, I wonder what goes on in the board meetings leading up to the release of a movie and how everyone can just watch it and say, nope, that everything needs to be in there. Well, I've obtained footage of how the board meeting went for this movie Hideout. And the one poor soul that actually stood up and said the movie was too long. Okay, the footage is shocking, but give it a watch.
We've been here for over 3 hours now, and I'm not sure if any of us can see what all this is supposed to mean.
Supposed to mean? Supposed to mean? I think everyone here knows what this is supposed to mean. And you've gone over something again and again and again and again. Like I have. Certain questions get answered, others spring up. The mind plays tricks on you, you play tricks back. It's like you're unraveling a big cable knit sweater that someone keeps knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting.
Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Okay, tonight we are talking the movie The Hideout. I'm just going to say it right off the hop. This movie is too fucking long. It's too long by almost 45 minutes to an hour. You could literally watch the first 20 minutes and then get up and leave for a good 45 minutes and then come back for the last, 20 minutes to a half an hour, and you would know exactly what was going on in this movie. Is this, if this movie was an apple pie, it would be fucking delicious. It absolutely would, because you have that opening 20 minutes, which is the crust. And then you've got the last 20 minutes to 25 minutes, which is the top crust. And then you've got this pretty much an hour of filling. Okay, so if this movie was an apple pie, it'd be fantastic. But as an audience member watching this movie, you're going to find yourself looking at your watch more than you are going to be buying into this flick. It's full of poorly written scenes that just lead to nowhere. And I know this is low budget, okay, but it's a standard horror movie. Like Chris Roselli, I hope I said his name correctly, is the director, writer, and also the editor, okay? And I say this all the time. A lot of times when you have the director, writer, and the editor as the same person, it doesn't work. It doesn't, because a lot of directors, especially low budget or newer directors, don't know how to pull their own material out. They honestly think everything needs to be in there. And this movie honestly looks like every scene they shot is in this movie. Now, I'll give them props because they shot it in 11 days and it was done through, the pandemic lockdown and all that stuff. So I'll give them props. And the ending to this movie, I enjoyed. Okay, the last 25 minutes of this movie was great. I thought it was actually quite awesome, to be honest with you, for a low budget movie, all right? But again, it's a movie that's already been told. I mean, I'll read the synopsis. Evading police at a remote farmhouse after fumbling a robbery, 4 criminals discover that the family living there is not who they appear to be. Okay, well, right there, you've taken all the mystery out of what's going to happen in this movie. Because, and it's the same as 100 other movies of this nature. A botched robbery, one of them gets shot, they need to hide out somewhere, so they end up on a deserted road with one farmhouse, so they more or less forcibly push their way in to tend to their fallen comrade. Weird shit happens. The end. You know what I mean? How many movies have been like that? So, you've basically said this in the synopsis, that the 2 people living in this farmhouse, there's something weird about them. So there's no lead up to it. There's no mystery. That's already been taken away. And then to sit there for almost an hour after that opening scene happens, of just scenes that lead to nowhere for an hour. Like, you're going to lose your audience in the first 35 minutes of this movie. It needed to be edited down. Like, listen, you could have easily pulled 35 to 40 minutes out of this movie. This movie is what happens when you take a short film idea and then just massively expand it. I would be okay if this was a 90-minute movie, but 2 fucking hours of more or less poorly written middle ground fucking dialogue. Like the poor actors in here, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the acting, the 2 male leads in this movie, I'm thinking to myself, okay, their acting is not very good. It really isn't. I'm just being honest. You can, again, go watch the movie and you can see if I'm over exaggerating. If you think I am, then come back in the comments section. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so the 2 male leads are definitely overacting, and it almost looks like they don't know what to fucking say half the time they're reciting their lines, so they're just making it up on the spot. Again, this movie was shot in 11 days. It was probably made on a micro budget. So, I mean, they probably only had, 1 or 2 takes at most, 2 takes to recite their lines. And I was like, they're just not pulling it off. Like it's cringeworthy, some of the scenes. It really is. And it takes you out of it. And there's full scenes in this movie that don't need to be in there. I'll give you an example. There's one scene near the end where the guy that initially gets shot, okay, him and the girl need to go and fill up their car because it's low on gas because they want to leave this farmhouse, okay, because weird shit's starting to happen. So they go out, of course, they run out of gas and they get picked up by this older fella, okay, and he kills them. He gets killed. The older fella gets killed because he figures out who they are and he wants to make a phone call to the police, and the main bad guy kills them. And I'm thinking to myself, why does that scene even need to be in here? Like all of it, going for gas, anything, it doesn't need to be in there. And it was like 15 minutes of they could have cut that whole scene out. And then I went and I kind of looked up the producers of this movie, and then I thought, okay, this makes total sense. Because the guy that gets killed is one of the producers of the movie. So he probably asked if he could be killed on screen. So they generated this scene for him so they could kill him off on screen. I mean, honestly, as a horror fan, who doesn't want to be killed in a horror movie, right? I know I do. But it's just when you already have a movie that is way too long and you're losing your audience, to throw this in, almost like in the third act, it's just almost like a slap in the face. Where you've taken a movie that is horrendously long and then to throw just one of many scenes that don't even need to be in this movie. It's just, I'm like, come on, guys, come on. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Give it a watch. Honestly, I've said this a couple times. Give this movie a watch. If you can make it all the way through, I'll be surprised. You'll probably fast forward through most of the middle part because, again, it's just fucking apple pie filling. If this movie was an apple pie, it'd be fucking delicious. But as a movie and an audience member, you're going to be looking at your watch more than you're going to be watching it. It's terrible. It's too bad. And the ending of this movie, I will give it props. There are some scenes in this movie in the end, CGI, they were fantastic. They absolutely were. And, so you get the first 15, 20 minutes opening scene to establish what's going on. And then you can literally just cut right to the last half an hour and you will know exactly what this movie's all about. It really is. It's a short story that could be probably a half an hour long, extended for another 90 fucking minutes. And it just does not work, or at least to me it didn't. So anyways, it's called Hideout. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Am I just blowing smoke here or not? I mean, some people like long drawn out movies. I'm unfortunately not one of them. I don't mind a 2-hour movie as long as it's cut properly and the pacing keeps going. But this movie loses steam after the first 25 minutes, in my opinion, and then doesn't pick up again, for another, till the last 25 minutes when all hell breaks loose, which is killer. I've already said that and I give them props for it. So anyways, guys, it's called Hideout. It's out now. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. If you haven't, go rent it and then come back here and give me your thoughts on it, guys. And let me know if you agree with me or if you didn't mind it. Let me know. But until next time, stay scared.